Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going through assembling the train. So this is maybe the first time you're putting together an assembly file, and I'll take you through some, but not all of the different aspects of combining our train into one big finished train. So let me share my screen and open up Autodesk Inventor. Now, before we start, you should be able to go File and Open, and then my train is right here. You should have it on your flash drive. So in your flash drive, you should have this folder, say train underscore, and then your name. And it should have all 9 parts in there. The axle peg, cow catcher, hitch peg, linkage arm, linkage peg, magnet, smokestack, the train body, and the train wheel. If you're missing any one of those, you can't do this. And so you've got to go back and make sure that you're done with those. Now you'll notice that some of mine are colored. I just changed the material type that they're made out of. That's totally optional. You don't have to do that, but it certainly makes it more fun. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What I want you to do is go File, New, Assembly. Okay, so you'll see here that this left-hand side just gives us an origin as per always, and a center point. These aren't necessarily very useful here because what we're going to be doing is just going place. So hit place. And I'm going to take you through this very methodically so it doesn't end up taking you too long. But the first thing you need to place down is your train body. Now, this looks really weird, right? But all you're going to do is click, and it places it for you. Now, it asks, you're not done, right? You can place more than one. So if you click more than once, you got some things to delete. So all I do to get out of this, I can go right-click and OK, or I can simply hit the Escape button. Now, if you've got more than one of these, just simply hover over, right-click, and go delete. Or you can right-click over here and go delete. Either way is fine. You'll notice that when it's highlighted on the left-hand side, it highlights on your main viewer as well, and vice versa. If I highlight it here, it highlights over there. So one thing that we need to do right away is, I'm just going to zoom out, is I don't want this to move anymore. I want all my other parts that I placed down to move to it. So what I'm going to do is select it. I have it selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose grounded. So you can see that right there, grounded. Okay, grounded. That means it can't move. And you'll see a little push pin right over here saying it's grounded. If it's not grounded, you just run into issues later. Okay. Right. So I'm going to place some more parts now. I'm going to hit place. Particularly, I want to place a wheel. Okay, so I'm just going to go open, place. There I have one wheel placed. The next thing I want to place is the axle peg. It's going to go open and place. Now I'm going to join these two together, and I should say constrain. Okay, so when I click on constrain up here, I now have some options right up here. I know you can't see them all, but here's a mate constraint. And in mate, I use a lot just for like square parts. It's actually really nice. You'll have flush and then mate. This mate constraint is like 2 parts that are kissing one another. Faces are together, right? And then flush is where 2 parts are just sitting side by side by one another. And we'll go through those at some other time. We are going to be exclusively in this one called insert. So click on that. And all we do with insert, this is specifically for parts in the round, okay, is we're going to say which circles should be touching one another, okay? So notice when I go over here, I've got to choose a lot of circles. You can see them in green. Now, this circle right here and this circle right here are both on the same level. Doesn't matter which one I pick, but I'm going to click one, okay? And then I'm going to go over to my wheel, and I want that circle to sit right on top of this circle. So click, and there it is. Okay, I'm just going to say apply. And then done. I can cancel out of this. If I want to see, notice I can move this one around. Okay. Now, I, of course, want some more wheels and axles, so I can highlight these. Notice you have two ways to highlight. If you highlight from right and up to the left, you'll notice my highlight box has dashed lines. This means that anything that is touching that dashed box is what will be highlighted. So even if I don't fully touch the wheel or fully encapsulate it with the box, it still highlights. However, if you go down and to the right, if I don't fully put this in the box, it will not highlight. So I've got to go like that, then it will highlight. So just two ways to highlight things. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go copy, Control C, then Control V. And notice I've got now two wheels and two axle pegs, and they both have the constraints over there before. So I'm trying to save some time here. Next thing I'm going to place is the hitch. Let's see, the linkage arm. There it is, the linkage arm, and just one of them. And again, I'm going to go constrain and insert. And here, this doesn't matter if it's frontwards or backwards. It both looks the same. So I'm going to click on the front circle. Needs to go on to this circle right here. Click. And now notice it's not exactly where we want it to be. I can't click and drag it while this box is open, though. I don't like that. So I'm going to cancel that box. And notice now I can kind of click and drag things as I want to. Okay, the next thing I want to do is constrain, insert. And again, same thing. Let's move this one this time. So I'm going to click on that circle. And I want to click on the back circle. Sometimes this works. I can actually click on the big one. That works too. The centers of the circle line up. So when I click, it's right where I want it to be. I can hit cancel. And now both of these are together as I want them to be. Okay. We do need some hitch peg, some linkage pegs in here though. So I'm just going to open these up. I'm going to place two of these guys. I'm going to go constrain, insert. You guys are seeing the pattern at this point, right? It's not too hard. This big circle down here, I can click on this little circle right there. There it's in. I hit apply, and now I can do another one. You always have to hit apply after you're done. Very important. All right, so there we have it. Done. Okay, now I'm going to want two of these. So select, copy, paste. Now I have two of them. Now I'm going to do constrain again, insert. And this time I want to look at where I want to put these. I know the axle peg is going to go right here, but I definitely want to grab the right circle. And so I'm going to flip my screen. I'm just going to use the little view cube. I want this circle to be right there. Okay, so notice what it did. I'm going to hit apply and then cancel out of that because this one is not constrained. So notice I can move it. So I'm just going to put it down here because it's easiest for me to pick things. Again, constrain, insert, that circle for the axle hole, this circle for the axle peg, hit apply, cancel. I can hit the home button. And now here I am. If you take it, because the train body is grounded, I can move these without worrying about them being thrown off or moving somewhere else. Okay, because they're constrained to one another, and the centers of the circles are constrained, which is why they can rotate. Okay, so I can rotate this wheel very easily, or I can move this up and down, which rotates both wheels. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Okay, so constrain, insert. If you're not used to using the, let's put it right there. If you're not used to using the view cube, you're going to get used to it after this because it's very, very important. I'm going to move this down so I can get at everything. I'm going to hit this one right there. I like using the little corners. And that one right there. Apply. And now I'm going to hit this corner. Should be able to go up and down as well. Okay, so that's it. Got both sets of wheels. Everything else is singular. We just need one of them. So I'm just going to place the rest. I'm going to hold control down. So the cow catcher, I'm going to need one of. The magnet, I'm going to need one of. The hitch peg, I'm going to need one of. The smokestack, I'm going to need one of. And that's it. So if I click open, I can now place all four at the same time. So there they are. Okay, I can move them around easy enough. Let's place the smokestack. Again, insert. I'm going to hit the bottom circle on the smokestack, the bottom of the hole, hit apply. I'm going to put the the hitch peg into the magnet. So just make sure what circles line up. And then I'm going to put this circle of the magnet should be touching the terrain body in the back. So there's that. And then the last thing, this is maybe a little bit tricky. So I just put these right next to one another. So obviously these 3 pegs need to go in those holes, but you only need to do 2 of them. You only need to constrain 2 of them, because once 2 of them are constrained, the third one should be constrained. And this is where if you made your pegs and your holes a little bit off, and I mean, even just a little bit, it's not going to work right. And so you got to go back into the part and change it. Here's how I would do that. Let's say I needed to change up where one of the pegs were. Simply double click on the part. And now look what opens up. This is all the work you did to make your cow catcher. And so if I wanted to change up the pegs, it looks like the pegs are right here. I can go into the sketch right away and change up where these are, right? And so very easy. I can just go finish. And then if I want to go back to placing my parts, I'm going to hit this right over here, return. Then I'm back in. It makes it very, very simple. You don't need to open up your part in a separate file down here or anything like that. It's very nice. So we're going to hit constrain, insert. I'm going to hit the back of this one. Should sit right there. Then I'm going to hit apply and then cancel. This is why I hit cancel, because I want to ease this down over here so I can see both. So now if I click on my view cube in this bottom right one, right down here, I can see which peg. I can see the peg that I need to insert into the other one. I'm going to choose this one, the back. And then I'm going to hit this so I can see right there. And everything was right. So notice if I try to move it, I can't. And that's it. That's it for my assembled train. Have fun.